Shane Gillis, live on stage.
I'm a bit of a history buff, which, by the way, that is early onset Republican.
His biggest tour ever is coming to Des Moines.
You're a white dude in your 20s and 30s, and you're like, I can't stop reading about World War II. It's coming, bro.
See Shane Gillis with his unmistakable comedic style. Live at Wells Fargo Arena Saturday, May 31st. Get tickets now at iowaeventcenter.com. For more, visit ShaneMGillis.com.
Oh, yes.
Mom, Dad's being weird again.
Luscious.
Honey,
So full.
it's just grass.
Oh, it's so much more than just grass. It's a healthier, greener, and more luscious lawn. Yours can be too.
Look at you.
With Kabursky Brothers Lawn Care.
Remember, no shoes on the lawn. Because you're so beautiful.
Call or click today.
Join us for the Murph and Andy Patio Tour every Friday starting this week, May 9th at Grimaldi's Pizza in the Prairie Trail District in Ankeny. You've heard us talk about the great food and drinks at Grimaldi's. Now come try them for yourself. It starts at 1 o'clock this Friday, Grimaldi's in Ankeny with Murph and Andy and Iowa Everywhere.
Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy, connected by cellular advantage.
Murph and Andy, so looking forward to 2 days from now when we're out on a patio broadcasting live because it's perfect.
So nice outside.
So nice.
This is a great week. Started off cloudy, but man, it's cleared up, and it is really a day where we wish we could just spend the whole one outside. I'm going to be outside today. I'm going to report outside. I've decided I'm going to do that. I was stuck in on the anchor desk the last 2 days, just talking about how nice the weather is. That stink. It's like right there. It's right on the other side of the wall, but you can't go see it.
No, I was sitting out on the deck having lunch, and as usual, our little 8-pound Chihuahua is just barking at everyone walking dogs that could have this Chihuahua as a snack. But, you know, dogs don't see themselves the way they reflect back in the mirror at times. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for today's sports and more with Murph and Andy. Overrate that. Mammoth reveal and movie bars, not musical notes, but bars, pubs, taverns in movies, all presented by Guest House Tavern, Northwoods-inspired Midwestern hospitality. Now high or low since our last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Yes, Tim Hawkins and company up there answering lots of questions right now with people worried about their retirement savings. He has those answers. He's also just capable of putting you on the best possible path, save you as much money, preserve as much of your money as possible. Look them up at Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. I'm going low today, and I'll tell you why. I made the mistake this morning of running out to Lowe's.
That doesn't sound like a mistake.
I like going to Lowe's.
Store?
Yeah, I do. I like going to Lowe's and Menards. I do like that.
Was it closed?
No, it was wide open, baby. I thought I went out like 9 a.m. I thought I would beat the crowd, but I forgot. Retirees love gardening.
Yes.
I was going to the garden center over at Lowe's. I needed some stuff. Retirees love gardening. And B, retirees are absolutely out shopping at 9 a.m. And I mean, that place was just choked with them. And the other thing that's funny is, you know, we'll all be there eventually. So, you know, I'm not getting personal here, but yeah, you know what you're talking about. I mean, first of all, they almost always travel in pairs. It's the husband and the wife. The wife is in front. The husband is dragging ass in the back.
It's like you watched Jenny and me at Home Depot Sunday. Yes.
Well, you're not retired yet, though, and you
but
guys
we're practicing.
You are more spry than those I'm talking about today. They've all got very thick running shoes on, and they're going very slow. And I mean, like the slowness starts outside the parking lot, just getting into the parking lot, very slow. Then they start looking for the spots. They prowl around the parking lot, and it takes a long time to get in. I mean, really, you cannot run a quick errand in this atmosphere. And the other thing that I always think is kind of funny is like the woman is on a mission. She knows what she's doing. She's, again, my parents were like this. I will be like this. Just, everybody will understand. But the woman's on a mission. She's nose to the grindstone. She knows exactly where she's going, what she's looking for. She gets the cart. She pushes the cart. She's the one grabbing stuff. And the man is just walking like 3 paces behind like this. Like, what the hell? Why did I have to come? Right? I mean, why am I even here? Just in a daze behind his wife. And I'm like, man, I just hope I am not like that when I am retired.
You will be.
I'm sure I will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're just like, oh man, it doesn't look good. Choking all the aisles and just, oh man. So I went in and I was like, all right, I needed like 3 different things, but the checkout line in the garden center just gets crazy, and everybody has those huge carts just loaded with potting soil and plants, and it was backed up like 90 deep. I was like, the hell with that.
All of this Sunday, every bit of it sounds so familiar. And you forgot one thing. You
cannot go on a Sunday. Oh my God.
Oh, we went on a Sunday.
That's a death wish.
Oh, it was crazy. But you get in this big line outside. There's a couple of checkout lines. It was 10 to 15 deep, each of the checkout lines Sunday. And then it never fails, but you just can't believe it. Somebody has waited like a good 15 minutes in that line, gets up there, and when they get to the very front, then it's, yeah.
Or they write a check.
Let me see. I'm not sure if I have, what's the deal if I if I apply for a card today, I get how much? Because hang on. I think I have a coupon here.
I mean, you think about that. What's that going to feel like when the day of the week doesn't matter to you anymore? I mean, right? Like I can't fathom that right now. Oh, but I know that happens.
You lose track of time. It's like Jenny's dad. Hey, Steve, would you like to go to lunch Thursday? Oh, Thursday? No, I'm booked Thursday. I got to go to Lowe's.
Yeah, one thing that they've got that day. One thing.
Your perspective completely changes. Oh no, I'm playing golf that day. I'm all booked up.
Well, golf is a good several hours, right? I mean,
that can be.
I understand, but yeah, my dad would just be like, "Oh no, I don't." You'd have a nap time during the day, and that pretty much just you block off 2 hours. You cannot intrude on that in any way. But like 9 a.m., I really thought, okay, this is a good time to go to Lowe's. It's a Wednesday, nowhere near the weekend. As far away as you can get from the weekend, because you don't want to go there on the weekend right now. It's nuts.
So your low is Lowe's. Lowe's. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Although it's not personal against Lowe's.
No, it could be any of those places right now. But I mean, just, right now you cannot go to the home and garden store. You just can't.
I'm going high. It's a look ahead, but it's RVTV. We released the route. Which do you prefer?
Well, it's really not either of those. It's just sort of a roundabout meandering on our way from Des Moines to Ames.
That's a route. I mean, you have to, whatever you set out to do, that's your path, right?
Yeah.
This is our path.
Yeah. The
staying west of 35.
The swirly that we're making.
Yeah, so we're starting in Des Moines. Monday, go to Earlham. Never been there with RVTV before. Haven't done it every year, but 30 years in now. So we go to Earlham, then to Coon Rapids. That's a first-time stop. I think we love these first-time stops because you just don't know what you're going to get. And you usually learn quite a bit about the community that you didn't know. I always like the first-timers, but we're running out of first-time possibilities. So happy to have 3 in 2025. Then from Coon Rapids going up to Lorville. The concern I have in Lorville is Chris Williams' brother-in-law owns a bar. And this is a small town. Was it about 500 people?
Yeah, I think so. It's really, really little. It's just got one little cross street.
Yeah. Second smallest town we've ever been to.
I immediately heard from somebody who works at the hospital up there, the one closest to Lorville, the regional hospital.
Right.
Who told me that, Lorville, we always make sure that we have extra staff in the ER.
In the ER?
When Lorville has their St. Patrick's Day party. Apparently they can drink.
That does not surprise me.
And maybe they operate heavy equipment and stuff after they've been drinking. I don't know. They hurt themselves up there, apparently.
They have 2 dive bars, or 2 bars. I should call them dive bars. I haven't been inside. I hope they're dive bars.
Yeah, we say
birds.
dive bar. That's a term of endearment.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember the name of the other one.
I think there are. I was looking at it. I was looking at just kind of the Google map street view picture of Lorville, which you can see the entire thing without rotating the camera.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, there. It looked like there were 3 businesses that were open, not including the post office, and 2 of them were bars. Bar bars.
Welcome to Iowa. We'll go from Lorville to Boone. We have been to Boone one other time. That's where the T stands for train.
I think
in RVTV.
Once or twice, maybe. Have we been there more than once? Okay,
just once and it was a great stop. So going back there.
That was back when I was on the morning show, so I didn't get to do that stop. I did a story there, but I didn't do the stop.
Then Friday is Polk City, and we have been there we've been there before.
Couple of times. Mm-hmm.
And it's a great location, a good place. And then that night we carry the football game where North Polk plays Newton in prime time. That'll be on WHO 13. And then to the game in Ames on Saturday, Iowa State game. AD, do you know the spread on that game yet?
No.
Good. I'd
Hawks
be worried
by a
about
million.
you if you did know. But looking forward to it. Thanks to all the towns that applied to be part of RVTV this year. Right now, let's get the buzz.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Got the place nice and cool here today because we've the air conditioner kicked in.
You turned it on?
Feel it. Yeah, I turned it on. It's only like 75 degrees out, but with these lights on in here, need a little bit cooler. So thank you.
I'm holding out as long as I can. I'm letting
same.
my furnaces rest. I'm
That's a good
letting
idea.
everything chill for a little while. It looks like you'll definitely have to put them on by this weekend.
Hey, do you think I've been taking one multivitamin almost every day for, I don't know, all the way back to Flintstones chewables. Do you think these really do anything? I'm not sure. Are we just peeing out the extra ingredients? Do we have firm knowledge that these actually do anything, or am I just taking a daily placebo?
I think the science is divided over that. I know that you just pee out the extras, so it's not like you're going to overload your body.
Not going to OD on
any of these vitamins. It is incredible that when you look at the back at the all the different vitamins that are in it, like how in the world do they put all that stuff in one little pill? I mean, that's a really long list. I take a whole bunch of supplements. I do. I mean, a whole bunch of vitamins and like fish oil and stuff and calcium, and I think they're good for you. It's funny how,
yeah,
it is funny. Yeah, we sometimes we're like, no, I'm not putting that in my body. I don't know where that is. I don't know enough about that. The science isn't completely, the jury isn't completely in on that. I'm not doing that. And then in all of these other instances, we're like, oh yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, I don't care. Just that seems the writing on the package is convincing to me. I'll take that.
To the buzz. That was not the buzz. That was a supplement. Tyrese Haliburton does it again.
Misses Haliburton the rebound. 9 seconds. They do have a timeout. Carlisle's going to let him play. Haliburton steps back.
it take Cleveland's heart? And it is over. The Indiana Pacers in a Game 2 stunner.
Unbelievable.
A good find on that video, AD. Tyrese Haliburton, 2 game winners inside of 2 seconds in the playoffs. Both of those game winners in the past week. And remarkably, this season, inside of 2 minutes, shots to take the lead or tie the game, Tyrese Haliburton is 10 of 11. That is the definition of clutch.
Yeah, and did it 2 different ways. I mean, you drove the lane against Giannis, and then steps back and hits the 3 in this game. This is a wild start to the NBA playoffs, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. And one of the things the NBA eventually has to solve is how can you make the regular season even partially as entertaining as the playoffs? I hear from people, and I understand people who did not pay attention to the regular season and are now checked in. And the ratings show that a bunch of people are checking in. Ratings are up across the board, doing really well. But many of those people did not watch the regular season, and I get it. This is like a whole different thing. It's been really great. And the playoff record down 7 or more with a minute 30 to go or less in playoff history, teams are 3-384. 2 of those 3 wins are the Pacers in the past week. 2 of the 3. Down 7. I mean, they were down 7 with 47 seconds to go at Cleveland, the number 1 seed, and they come back and win it. And Haliburton got that rebound off his own free throw miss. It eventually gets tipped to him, stumbles back to the line, hits the step back 3. It really was just a thing of beauty. And then after he hits it, he does the big balls, the big balls dance. AD, you know where that's from.
Yeah, from Major League 2. Tanaka trying to, Pedro Serrano had gone to Buddha after the first season, after the first movie, and Tanaka's trying to get his toughness back. Yeah, exactly. He wants some of that Jobu. So you have no marbles.
Marbles.
Yeah, Tanaka.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're just joining us, Scott Sipker was one of the worst takes of all time that Major League 2 is better than Major League 1.
Foolish.
That might mean he's not seen Major League 1, but
it's not Chris Williams. I said Scott Sipker.
I know. I'm just trying to give him some benefit of the doubt here, but maybe I shouldn't. Back to the NBA. So, I mean, the NBA is in kind of a weird spot here because all the road teams are winning. And that's amazing because, the biggest enemy of sports is the foregone conclusion, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have all the home teams win and they win comfortably, then that's boring and fans don't like that. And when all the road teams are coming winning and, Indiana's up now? 2 games to none.
2-0 and both on the road.
Yeah. I mean, then, wow, that really tells you that you don't know what to expect and that's what you want. But at the same time, doesn't that also fly in the face of the NBA trying to make the regular season, just more trouble for the NBA in promoting their regular season? Because this tells you that, playing hard for home court advantage may not mean anything.
First time in NBA history in the conference semifinals, the road team won all 4 game 1s. You would think that had never happened, and it had never happened until this year. So Donovan Mitchell of the Cavaliers, he scores 48 points and has 9 assists, and no one is talking about it because the Pacers and Haliburton find a way to steal this game. But Mitchell, to his credit, the Cavalier fans started an overrated chant, and Donovan Mitchell went in and made a gesture to the crowd, like, stop that, quiet that down. and that ends up looking pretty good by the end of this game. But Tyrese Haliburton was asked about the overrated chance, and if you don't know, he was voted most overrated player in the NBA by anonymous NBA players in an athletic poll. Here's his answer.
You feed off of that overrated chance that the Cavs fan base was giving you?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, that one was unexpected. I didn't know we had beef, but yeah, I guess that, I mean, good for them, man. That came out of nowhere, but it's just, I think now that label's there, they're all, that's what it's going to be every time we play somebody. Every time on the road, he'll probably follow me until the next poll comes out, and then we'll see if I'm number one again. But, you know, for me, I just control what I can, man. Yeah, I mean, overrate that.
Overrate that. Quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Tyrese Haliburton is underrated, overrated, or properly rated?
I think it's pretty clear he's underrated. And it's kind of a complex question when you know he's just been voted by players overrated. But when you see the statistic that 10 out of 11 shots to tie or go ahead in the final minute 30 of the game, you know how many assists he has, and he doesn't turn the ball over. And he's like, along with Jalen Brunson, the most clutch player with the game on the line in the NBA. I think he's underrated.
Well, I don't think there's any chance that any of these guys that voted him most overrated wouldn't take back their votes after watching. Clearly that poll was taken before the end of the season began.
Right.
So, you don't do that. An overrated guy doesn't do that in those two situations. I mean, that's twice now that the game has come down to him. It's been in his hands, and he has won it. In situations that he wasn't, neither he nor the Pacers were expected to win. So, I mean, right there, I think he just rewrote his own legacy. And at this point, I mean, the Cleveland fans are the ones that look the worst here. I mean, they're way premature in that chant.
Yeah, us calling him Iowa State's best professional athlete, a week and a half ago or whatever, has bore itself out pretty well.
That's underrated.
I think he's properly rated. I think NBA fans understand how good he is. He's been an all-star the last several years. He was on the Olympic basketball team. I think that poll seemed ridiculous. It's why it got so much attention. So yeah, I mean, he's certainly not overrated. I do think, though, for most fans who pay attention to the NBA, he's properly rated. He's one of the best players in the league.
Do we know where his dad, John Haliburton, was watching the game? Because this is a guy who went to every game in college, home and away, in the NBA. I haven't heard yet. Have you heard where he was watching? I haven't either.
I'm sure he was watching. Probably good that he wasn't there for this one. It's hard for parents to control themselves. Parents who know better.
You're not wrong.
Parents who know better, parents who have called out other parents in the past. Suddenly your kid is in a situation. It's like you step outside your own body and, react from right field.
They were showing old clips of Reggie Miller, who also scored 8 points. I think in Miller's case, it might have been like 8 points in 9 seconds or something. But it's interesting to see how similar their body types are, Reggie Miller and Tyrese Haliburton, and just finding a way to put shots up at those really pressure-packed moments and coming through. Interact on YouTube. You can email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, it's Murph_Andy. And it is all powered by the Cellular Advantage, proud partner with U.S. Cellular since 1993 and 35 regional locations. All right, let's get some more just quickly here on the NBA talk. Fascinating the other night. Jalen Brunson was great again, but the Knicks came from 20 down at Boston. 20 points down in the third quarter to win, and the Celtics missed 45 threes. You look at this shot chart here.
This was third quarter of that game.
Third quarter took one shot inside the 3-point line the entire quarter and missed a playoff record 45 threes. And this is the definition of insanity. You're off, your team's off, your superstars are off, and you just keep shooting threes. I mean, at some point, you got to go to a plan B. I know the Celtics won the championship last year, but this drives me crazy when I see this, when they're just not falling and there's no adjustment whatsoever. I mean, it's probably Mazzulla, the coach, that needs it. You got to make an adjustment. You can't just keep.
Yeah, but we've heard that
threes.
from basketball coaches and players so many times. They're like, nope, you got to shoot your way out. Got to shoot your way. You got to stick with what got you there. You got to keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. Fred Hoiberg used to say that all the time. We'd say, well, if shots were not falling last night, why did they keep shooting? Well, because that's how you do it. You don't change your game plan. You shoot your way out of a slump. You continue being the player that you are. And eventually it seems like some of those shots start to fall and then you get hot. But then when you don't, it does look like the definition of insanity. You just kept doing the one thing over and over again that was not working for you.
They shot their way out of a win here. They had the win. They're up 20, but in the third quarter, they just keep shooting threes that don't fall. So the Knicks can keep trading 2 or 3 points and they slowly creep up and they win in overtime. I mean, drive, get inside the lane, do something. You have a 20-point lead, and they gave it away. So it is dumb. You're right. That is what they say, but man, that's crazy. I think you got to stop it when it's not working like that and win the game. They could have won the game by going inside.
Yeah, but I mean, it just kind of adds to this crazy first round. I mean, we've really seen all different sorts of wins by these road teams in situations where nobody really thought this was going to happen. But hey, it's everybody is talking about the NBA. That's not always the case at this point in the playoffs. This is sometimes just, the best teams just rolling over their opponents. But man, not this year. It really seems like this is going to be anybody's championship to win.
Yeah, the Nuggets won the other night. Nikola Jokic had 42 points and 22 rebounds.
Just when we were starting to forget about him.
Yeah, he's the best player. He could win the MVP every year. He won't. We understand how these MVP votes go. You get voter fatigue, or last year, Kendrick Perkins said publicly and loudly that he brought race into the NBA MVP vote. And I remember saying, that's it, Jokic won't win this year. And then he didn't. It went to Joel Embiid, who is definitely not as valuable a player as Nikola Jokic. He's not going to win it this year either, but he's the best player in the world right now.
Definitely looks like it. And that's an interesting series too.
Yeah, he's kind of a player coach too. I don't know if you caught the video, Andy, of him, because they got rid of their coach late in the season. And he's coaching on the sidelines. I mean, he's really engaged, so can't sleep on the Nuggets. The Timberwolves did lay a turd at home last night. Anthony Edwards, who most of us get a really big kick out of, he's so vocal. He made it known he wanted the Warriors, and then he went out there and scored 1 point in the first half. And Steph Curry goes out with what is a grade 1 hamstring injury we learned today from the MRI. So he's out game 2, probably longer. But even with Steph Curry not playing in the second half, the Timberwolves lose to the Warriors at home. That was a dud. A dud.
Yeah, but I like the fact that the Warriors are hot right now. They're still. I love Steph. I love all those guys. I think that's a fun team. I want them to have another deep run.
Well, game 1 is traditionally thought to be the least important in the series, so things can change and change quickly. NHL, Utah revealed its nickname today. It is the Mammoth, not plural, not mammoths, even though you could have more than one mammoth. And the NHL has more singular nicknames than any other professional sports league, but they're going Mammoth. Would you have rather it been Mammoths, plural?
Yeah, I don't like the singular nickname. Although I mean, Thunder, and that's Thunder is NBA, but you couldn't really have the Thunders. Lightning,
You couldn't have the Wilds.
You wouldn't have the Lightnings
or the Wilds.
or the Wilds.
I
Yeah,
singular for Mammoth. I think Mammoths would sound weird. It's hard to say.
It is hard to
TH
say.
with the S at the end.
I'm
Mammoth
guessing
is
that's
also
why
like an
they picked the
adjective,
singular.
right?
AD,
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think that's why they picked the singular. They thought Utah Mammoths would be hard to say.
but Mammoth is an area of Utah. It was an old gold mining camp. It still gets visitors and that. I think there might be a recreation area, ski area that's Mammoth. And so the name Mammoth does go with Utah, but they're using the woolly mammoth logo there. So clearly they're talking about those two, but I don't know. I'm just glad that this is much better than it could be. You know, they could have gone with some stupid name that doesn't have any geographical relation to Utah, that doesn't have any, that could be a team from anywhere.
They wanted Yeti. Do you think this is better or weaker than Yeti? They had a trademark dispute on Yeti.
I thought Yetis was better. Again, now that would have been silly because there isn't a spot called Yeti.
Yeah, you'd have to go plural, wouldn't you?
I know the trademark dispute, which I just can't believe they couldn't work that out somehow. Maybe they could have an alternate jersey that had a cooler on the front of it. But, I mean, Mammoth it's unique. It's not another Thunder or Rampage or Attack or Blaze or, some generic name that doesn't offend anybody, but doesn't get anybody excited. Doesn't, sometimes I wonder if these owners like purposely pick names that they can move, so you don't get another Utah Jazz or Memphis Grizzlies situation. In case it doesn't work out here, we can move this nickname and it'll make sense. We don't have to deal with the Quebec Nordiques again, or, the other names that just didn't translate, like the Calgary Flames. It was the Atlanta Flames because of the fire there.
Utah Jazz. Is there any place where there's less jazz than the state of Utah?
No, there's not. And, the LA Lakers, that doesn't make sense either, but they've been so good that everybody's forgotten.
You're used to it. Right. Mammoth, Garen points out, is a rock band. I believe the lead singer is Eddie Van Halen's son.
Right? Wolfgang
so.
Van Halen. Yeah. Mammoth,
by the way, AD, if you could go back to the logo for just a minute, point something out to Andy you may not have seen. In that logo, up at the top of the Mammoth,
mountains.
Those are mountains. Yeah, they worked the mountains into it. Have you gotten over well, I know you haven't. How are you doing with the Blues not clearing the zone and letting the Jets?
Not well. And no. What I do like about the Blues is that they have this end of the year press conference where
like a post-mortem.
Yeah. Where like the GM and the coach and players will sit there in front of the media in St. Louis and just kind of answer for, how they've screwed up. Obviously that was an easy one in 2019 when they had won the cup, but Jim Montgomery and Doug Armstrong and everybody, they sat up there and just got hammered with questions about the way this game went down and, just second guessing everything else in the season. But, and then they posted it all over YouTube and Facebook, and we all watched that stuff. And then of course in Facebook, there's just a million angry comments and I read them, but somewhere in those comments was this video I found yesterday of Blues fans watching the final minute of that game at Winnipeg the other night. And this is what I was talking about. Okay. I was saying this is one of the most aggravating situations for any sports fan. And in the NHL, this is a situation where your team is up a goal and the other team has pulled the goaltender. They are just bringing down the house, like whatever they can do to put shots on goal. All your team has to do is get a bit of a stick on a bit of a puck and clear the zone, and yet they can't do it. Here, this is what I was talking about.
Come on, I feel so powerless. I hate this. I know. I feel so powerless. Come on.
14 seconds.
15 seconds. Come on. 12 seconds. Hold it up against the ice. 10 seconds. 9. Come on, the Blues are about to win this. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Count down faster. No!
Oh gosh. Oh, and the Jets fans on the flip side of that
Just
euphoria.
Crazy. Yeah. The best feeling that they've had.
Playoff hockey.
Oh,
so
I know.
awesome.
Yeah, I know. Just edge of your seat, man. And oh my God. And even though that's just to tie it, you just know that there went the momentum right there. It just
And that one
all
looked
flew.
real. That looked real. Sometimes you can tell people turn their phone back on and backed up the DVR, whatever you call it these days, to rerun it and video their reaction to what just happened. But I think that was real.
That looked real to me. And you could just kind of see you could just feel it coming, that the person like holding the phone at the time, because just like who would record that? I mean, it's the first round of the playoffs, but they're recording it, and
It'd be a big upset.
That phone was taking a spill.
Oh yeah. Load management comes to horse racing's Triple Crown, and it sucks. No sovereignty or journalism at the Preakness Stakes. So no sovereignty, no journalism, no thank you for most people. Just coming out of the Kentucky Derby with the highest ratings in 36 years, peaked at like 23 million people watching the race. And then clearly the two best horses are not going to the next race. And their trainers have both said, we want to do what's best for the horse. And it's long been debated that that's too quick of a turnaround. 2 weeks is not enough time, recovery time for the horse. But it used to be when you won, you would do it anyway because you want that shot of the Triple Crown. And then over the years, they kept the financial incentive going higher and higher and higher. And we had a Triple Crown winner, 2017 or 18. But since then, 5 or 6 times the Derby winner has not run the Preakness.
4 times since 2018.
4 times. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
For most of us,
think
I'll
that's a
still
lot.
watch the Preakness, but I'm not going to seek it out now. If it's right there in front of me, I'll gladly watch it, but it changes everything.
Yeah, I don't care anything about it at all.
Sucks.
I won't seek it out. And this is another aggravating thing. I hate this. I absolutely hate this. I don't think it should be allowed. But it has to be allowed because there are situations where the winner of the Derby is not, or other horses that ran the Derby got dinged up, or they have some health concern, and you have to allow them to skip the Preakness.
And the
You just
Derby
have
winner
to.
is worth a fortune.
Well,
stud fees.
But, regardless of that, though, I mean, if you are talking about the proper husbandry of the animal, you have to be able to say that. And you have to be able to stand up and say, I'm telling you, this horse needs this. And you have to be able to take them, those trainers at the word. You have to be able to do that. But at the same time, if you are part of horse racing's governing bodies, this is the worst thing for your sport.
Absolutely.
Unless there's a PEDs or something. This is terrible. This has been done over and over again. We have shown horses have been fine running the Kentucky Derby, running it as hard as they can, and 2 weeks later, running the short little Preakness. It has been proven over and over again that they can do this. Yet, there are those occasional situations where it's not safe, and they do pull them out, on the best advice of the veterinarians there. So it's like you can't really do anything about it. You couldn't just come down with a decree and say, well, yeah, you could move the Preakness, but that will
Put 3
not...
weeks between the races, because there's 3 weeks between the Preakness and the Belmont.
Mhm.
But so let's talk
that
about
might
that for
help, but I think you would still have an occasional situation or they're just like, well, no, they can't do it because they're trying to protect their investment. Maybe they really are trying to protect just the general health of the horse.
Could be.
But I mean, that option is always going to be there. But look, I mean, God, for the greater good of horse racing, I mean, when the shot of a Triple Crown
we're
passes,
done. We're done.
People, the general public is out. They're out.
And if you do go to 3 weeks between, then you have changed the historical record book, and maybe there would have to be a divide in the record book, like all of these happened once they changed. Because this has been talked about, as you know, especially got talked about in was it nearly 40 years between Triple Crown winners? It was talked about over and over again that it was just too much for a horse to win the Triple Crown, but then
it had become too much. Yeah, we had 2 of them in a short amount of time. Like 2 and 3,
was
4
it American
years.
Pharaoh that first broke that long streak?
Yes.
And to Justify won the most
American
recent
Pharaoh and then
Triple Crown.
Justify was there just a year between the 2 of them or 2 years? They were pretty close. It was
2015 and 2018.
Okay, so yeah, 2 full years in between them.
I knew it had been a while because 2015 we watched American Pharaoh win the Triple Crown. We were at Jethro's up the street, which no longer exists. Nothing is there anymore. I think it burned to the ground or something happened.
Pile
over
of
there.
rubble.
Yeah, it's a pile of rubble now.
I was
But
down
we were
in
in there, and
Florida
the
with
place
Chris,
went,
yeah.
but I mean, just
Oh, yeah.
bonkers. I mean, because Jenny and I were 2 of the few people in the bar, in the restaurant, who had ever seen a Triple Crown winner. I mean, it had been so long. And now we're not going to see one this year.
I know, and it's like they didn't even try.
I know.
And just immediately you hear about it. Like, I mean, like literally, you're not even done reporting on the story of the incredibly high ratings for the Kentucky Derby,
right?
And you don't even have time to take a breath before you have to move on to. And by the way, neither of these horses will be in the Preakness.
And there's that great video. I mean, just the horse is covered in mud, and it's really scenic. And I'm sure it's not fun to run in, but it really made.
But
for
they
an
look like the 2
interesting
best
visual.
horses, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
like you absolutely want to see these 2 matched up again in the Preakness. And
Yeah, I'm far more interested in the Belmont now than I am the Preakness. I can skip right by the Preakness. Let me see Sovereignty.
But there won't be any interest in the Belmont really either. So
Well, at least you get Sovereignty and Journalism again. Right?
Maybe,
You said
yeah,
2
maybe.
best horses.
At this
we
point,
think.
we'll see.
Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. We're headed to Confluence a week from Friday on the patio tour. So if you can start working on your AKC marketing, you're meeting AD at Confluence to discuss some business propositions. That'll get you out of work on that Friday.
Put me on your calendar.
Yeah,
We
put it
will
on the calendar
be,
for 8 weeks.
I'll accept the meeting invitation. It'll look real.
Yeah. He can get you out of whatever you have to do.
That's what he does
on a Friday, and we will tip back a few Confluences on these Friday patio tour stops for sure.
And now here's Academy Award winner Kate Winslet helping calm the nerves of a young reporter who can't believe she's interviewing Kate Winslet.
It's my first time.
This is your first time
Yeah.
doing it? Okay, well, guess what? When we do this interview,
Yeah.
it's going to be the most amazing interview ever.
Okay.
And do you know why?
Why?
Because we've decided that it is going to be. So we've decided right now, me and you,
Yeah.
this is going to be a really fantastic interview.
Okay.
And you can ask me anything that you want, and you don't have to be scared. Everything's going to be amazing.
Okay.
Okay, you got this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, Kate Winslet just went up in my book. That's awesome.
That looked exactly like our interview with Marshall Falk, only the complete opposite.
Exactly the same, except the opposite.
Except nothing. Yeah, none of it was the same. Yeah.
All right, let's get some more here on the.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Good times over on the Either Or Eatery and Patio. They are coming up on our patio tour early next month, so they will be on there. But in the meantime, get over there and check it out. Bring your kids. They're not going to want to leave. Good luck dragging them out of there. Oh, man. Today is the deadline to get your real ID.
I've got it.
I was laughing really hard yesterday when I was reading these stories on the news. I thought everybody had them, or they didn't care, or they understood that they didn't really need them that badly, and that this was just one of those kind of seemingly big deals that everybody just decided not to care about until we got up to the actual deadline. And then we took a shot from a big city like Chicago, like one of the DMV offices, and there was a line around the block of people who were like literally camping out overnight to get this real ID because they had procrastinated for 20 years.
You know what tax day is like? Yeah.
The real
Christmas
ID,
shopping.
The real ID is something from the George W. Bush administration as a response to 9/11. Making our skies safer. And it has been postponed so many times for so many different reasons for 20 years. And we are finally, it came out in 2005. It's 2025.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It took 4 years to put the plan in place and then 20 years for it to be here. Do you think people were just lulled into a false sense of this is never going to happen, so I'm not going to
I do.
trouble?
I do. Or they've been told in varying degrees that, this is not all that important. It is kind of complicated. It's complicated to get. Its uses are a little bit complicated. Now, the Trump administration says all states will need to comply by the deadline, which is today. Real ID. So what it is an enhanced security driver's license that will be needed to board any domestic airline flight in lieu of a passport. So if you have a passport, you don't need a real ID unless you need it to enter federal buildings, courthouses, nuclear facilities, that kind of stuff. I don't know when you might need that. Huh?
How will this affect underage people getting into bars?
Not. Yeah, it won't. Not. Right? So there goes half of the demand right there. But so if you've got a passport, you can just use your passport. You don't need a real ID. But I didn't realize this. 60% of Iowans do not have passports. Of driving age, they do not have 60%. Murph. That's much higher than I thought. So you got to do something. And I'm telling you, as you and I can attest, it is easier to get the real ID than it is a passport. Because getting a passport, you can't. It's like they need to send off to the moon. Like there's an office on the moon.
And you don't want to pay for the
expedited
process. The expedited process. That is much more expensive.
It's expensive. You don't know when you're actually going to get it. There's not a damn thing you can do about it if it's taking too long. I did this with my cousin 2 years ago. He was going to go with me and Bryce and Kenny up to Lac Seul. He waited until April to get his passport. We were leaving in June, and he still didn't get it in time. He got it the day after we left for Canada. That's what happened. But that was terrible. So the real ID is still easier. You need to bring your passport if you have one. You need to bring, if not, you need to bring something that's got your social security number on it, like your W-2, you need to bring a birth certificate. If you don't have the passport, you need to bring, regardless of what you got, you need to bring 2 pieces of mail, one that's like a water bill and one that is like your Mid-American Energy bill, 2 pieces of mail that show your physical address on it. You can look all of that up. To the long list of metro road construction projects that get underway this month, add good old Fleur Drive. I'd almost forgotten about that. Yes,
Again?
Fleur Drive, because it's always under construction. They are ready to do the section. Really, here, Andrew, is this a picture from today?
Yeah,
Wow.
I believe so.
Okay, that's Bell Avenue, basically. This you have to go over the hill down to George Flagg Parkway, but from George Flagg Parkway north to MLK, that part is getting the makeover this summer. So you thought you were out of the woods with Fleur Drive. Wrong, not yet. Projects all over the place. Good luck out there. Leave early. A federal judge ruled on Monday that a class action lawsuit alleging that Burger King falsely advertised the size of its signature Whopper can move forward. It's
Look
cheeseburger.
at the difference in those two photos.
U.S. District Judge Roy K. Altman in Florida found some merit to the plaintiff's argument that the fast food chain advertised its Whopper cheeseburger and other menu items to appear bigger than they are. Good. They should get sued for this. I'm glad. This is
like the hamburger equivalent of the penis pump.
Just because we've become accustomed to things at fast food restaurants never looking like they do on the picture just above the cash register doesn't mean that's okay. You're not getting what you think you're getting, or you're not getting what they say you're getting. Look at the difference
picture,
between
the reality photo looks like somebody sat on that.
Yeah, it looks like an
Whopper
elephant
first.
stepped on it or something. Look at that. The lettuce is just overflowing. There's like one shitty white piece of lettuce underneath there. There's no sight of any pickles. You don't see an onion.
I saw a video recently of how photographers doctor up the burger for ads like this. It's a whole process.
They
like you're basically putting makeup on the burger.
Yeah, they like spray extra grease on the patty to make it shinier.
Yeah.
From Facebook Marketplace, this just keeps popping up. This is in Grinnell, an iron jail cell allegedly owned by E.T. Barnum, what is that? E.T. Barnum's bastard brother or something? I don't know.
Who is E.T. Barnum? E.T.
alien
Barnum
brother,
was an
yeah.
extraterrestrial with a flair for circus life.
What? Where would you put this? It's a giant, heavy jail cell. What? They want like almost $12,000 for this thing?
You would have to own some business where this fit the theme, or else why would you pay $12,000?
You got a buddy with a forklift that can help you get it out of the semi truck you'd have to rent to bring it home. What is the?
Wow,
dude, come on! You're not going to sell this.
E.T. Barnum said there's a sucker born every minute on Facebook Marketplace.
Let's keep shopping, but let's head to Zillow and check out this nice bar for sale in Detroit. They just go ahead and give it up. It's a strip club.
Yeah, 1.1 million.
It's got the pole. It's got everything you need there.
Liquor license.
You need to have that sucker cleaned twice, right? I mean,
that needs a deep clean.
You deep clean it when you put it on the market, and then if you're the one that buys it, you go ahead and do it again. But you buy the strip club. I just can't imagine. Like, I was looking for something to do with my spare time. I think I'll get into the club scene, but I want to be an owner. Jeez. From the bowels of Instagram, we bring you this. A parking lot Karen accosts a skateboarder, and he pays her back as only a grown man who still loves skateboarding could.
Stop filming me.
What is your problem? Do not touch, report me.
I hope that's real.
Do not touch, report me.
What? This guy is dressed like skateboarding, slightly overweight Freddie Mercury. What is? Look at this look.
What is your problem? Do not touch, report me.
The fly-by fart.
Oh my God!
Not the walk by, not the drive by.
U.S.
Not
News
crop
and World
dusting.
Report is out with another list. The best states in America. In addition to healthcare and education, the rankings take into account a state's economy, its roads, bridges, internet, and other infrastructure, its public safety, its natural environment, the fiscal stability of state government, and the opportunity it affords its residents. And number one, as you can see on the map here, is Utah, home of the Mammoth. Yeah, home of the Mammoth. Number two is New Hampshire. Number 3, Idaho, often mistaken for Iowa, but not in this case.
Not in this case. Yeah.
Number 4 is Minnesota. Number 5 is Nebraska. But number 14 on the list is Iowa. High marks we get for opportunity and fiscal stability. Very low marks for our economy, down in the 40s. Also, we did poorly in education and natural environment. But still, 14 ain't bad. The worst state in America is, Murph, guesses?
Mississippi.
Nope. That's close, though.
Louisiana.
Louisiana is the worst. Louisiana is the worst. Alaska is the second worst. Mississippi is the third worst. And finally, an American tourist in Rome said he was going for the ultimate selfie when he decided to climb the spiked metal fence outside the Colosseum. This ended the way you would expect, when he slipped and became impaled on the spikes, which are there so people can't climb the fence.
Correct.
It took authorities 20 minutes to free him, and then he needed 80 stitches. Not sure which part of his body.
It's going to ask sack or hole.
Yeah, stitches went to. Yeah, I think you immediately start reading this or looking at the pictures, and you're like, oh, he ripped his sack. I don't think that either that or it impaled his rectum, one of those two. But
it hurts me a little just thinking about it.
I mean, look at that fence, though. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Who looks at this fence and is like, I mean, it looks a little difficult to climb, but once I get on top of it, I'll be okay.
I'll tell you what happened. This guy had seen Gladiator, and even though that was all CGI, he's thinking, you know what? Maximus would climb this fence. I think I'll do it. He's like 7 beers in. And then he ends with 80 stitches in his sack.
Look at that. Outwardly curving, pointed iron spikes. Close together.
Ouch.
I would have liked to have seen that. I just want to hear exactly what they said. Now, how did this happen? What were you doing exactly? Oh, selfie? Or do you think they just guessed that now? Let me guess. Trying to take a selfie. Happens every day. That's your more, everybody.
Grimaldi's fan photos are sent to Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. You can send them at any time. Just you and your crew having fun at some kind of sporting event, or really it can be anything. It's presented by Grimaldi's Coal-Fired Brick Oven Pizza in West Des Moines or Ankeny, a $50 gift card we award each Friday. And AD, were we on the hunt for mushrooms?
Some morel hunters. Yeah, Josh sent us this with his kids out getting some morels over the weekend. And then I threw this one in here. Here's my daughter, had her first softball game the other day and was very excited to get her uniform.
Look how proud she is.
That's awesome. Little Jenny.
What does it say, UGRA?
Yeah, the Urbandale Girls Recreation Association.
Or UGRA.
UGRA.
Yeah.
UGRA. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the one and only Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody. Presented by P&P Small Engines.
Speaking of P&P Small Engines, you getting out in the yard a couple of times a week right now, Mike?
Yeah, I mow on like Sunday, and by Thursday,
we're gonna have him reset, AD.
Let's have him reset there.
Yeah,
I will speak. I have been out in the yard working with my small engines from P&P, and they all work beautifully because Jeff had them all serviced and everything this spring. It's a thing of beauty. I like to mow. I do. I like to sit down on the mower, put some podcasts on my noise-canceling headphones and zone out for an hour and get that done. And then, got to keep them on, go pick up the trimmer, pick up the blower. Makes it easy.
Yeah, we've had a couple of people lately say that they were listening to our show while running marathons. And fortunately, no one has beat the time yet. We've had a couple of Fridays that have been out there where one of the great Kenyans could probably run inside of the amount of time we're taking on a Friday. But Mark Freud, who of course you know is a big runner, he says it's a great compliment because marathon runners are looking for something to take their mind off the pain.
Yeah.
So if we can move into that club, that's good. Now, when you're mowing,
they tell you
you're not
go to
in
your
pain.
happy place, and we love the idea that we're the happy place.
We want to be a happy place. Let me explain our out of the box topic here, where we bring Mr. Movie back. It is a bar in a movie, and you'd like to go visit that bar. It can be a fictional bar, but just like, for instance, Andy, people who have followed us a long time know we love the movie Roadhouse, but I'm not sure I would actually want to go to the Double Deuce because I'd probably get my ass kicked.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to, just if Dalton was there, and he could, keep things chill.
Throw the philosophy out there.
Or just Dalton's crew is there just in case things get crazy. You can just kind of step out of the way and let them handle it. But it would be cool if there were a Double Deuce in the mountains of Western Missouri.
Double Deuce in the mountains of West Missouri. All right, so I'll start off here, and a bar I wanted to see was from Top Gun. And the first time I went out to visit Bryce in San Diego, we looked it up. And this is a photo I actually took. This is from the Top Gun bar where Goose famously sang Balls of Fire, Great Balls of Fire. And then at the end, Maverick is, you see the quarter go into the jukebox, which is still there to this day. And you lost
so
that
that's a real
feeling.
bar.
It is a real bar. It's called Kansas City Barbecue. So it was a Kansas City themed bar, still is, and restaurant. It's primarily a restaurant. It's kind of a restaurant more than a bar. It's both, I guess. But after, when they were scouting locations for the movie, somebody went in there and they thought, oh, this would be perfect. They brought the director, Tony Scott, in there, and then they shut down the bar and restaurant for a day or two. And then that made me, after I saw Maverick, which I loved and we all saw together over at the IMAX, they have what is called the hard deck in the movie Maverick. So I was like, I got to get there now, which I haven't done. This is also, I think it's Coronado Island in the San Diego area. But I have since learned the hard deck doesn't actually exist. It is a movie set. But it was based on this bar that you're seeing. It's called the I Bar, but they couldn't get the cameras. They weren't able to move the cameras around enough in the actual I Bar. So they just recreated a duplicate on the beach. They built a sound stage that looks exactly like this bar, the I Bar, which you can visit. And you don't have to be in the service to visit there, although it's full of service people. And
looks like they got a mug club there.
They have a mug club for sure. And you have to take your hat off. You have to remove your hat when you come inside. That's one of the rules there. And if you put your phone on the bar, you do have to, just like Maverick, you do have to buy a round. All those rules that are in the movie are actually in this. So that's something that I would like to go. That's my next move. I'd like to get to San Diego and see the I Bar at some point. We welcome Mr. Movie back. Mr. Movie, what is your choice for a bar?
You know what? I'm going to go, and you knew you were in a movie the minute this scene happened. You knew it was going to be really special. And that was in Top Gun, where they all go to the bar and they start singing.
Still having a little trouble hearing Mr. Movie, but let me take something that I didn't realize at first when I saw the original Top Gun. So this and the bar I just discussed, the Kansas City Barbecue or Great Balls of Fire, is saying this is a different place. So these are two different locations in the movie, which I'm sure Mr. Movie knows, but not everybody realizes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so this is in a more formal setting. It is actually at a place called the Lafayette Hotel, and it's in what is called the Mississippi Room of the Lafayette Hotel, and that's why it looks more fancy in the background.
You guys thought this was the same bar as that one with the piano where they're singing great?
I think many people still think that.
I didn't pay that much attention to it. Yeah,
it's like a completely different vibe.
It looks different now. Yeah. Gosh, Andrew, be such a dick.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I picked up
just
on
trying to
that
get
when
Mr.
I was
Movie connected
picked
here.
up on that when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah. First of all, I didn't realize we were going to go so deep into the bars of Top Gun.
All right, yeah, that's enough of that. Andy, go ahead with your choice. We just don't have a connection with Mike where we can hear him, unfortunately. Go ahead, Andy. What's your bar choice?
I told you not to put Vaseline on the lens there. So this is a good question. This is fun. This bar actually does exist. I don't know that I would really want to go there, but I love old bars in big cities that look like they have not changed in 50 years. And maybe like even the prices haven't changed very much in 50 years, but they've like gone in and out and in and out and in and out of style. And they don't care. It's a real authentic bar, and it's not posing as something else. It just is the same thing it was when it opened. And the Cockatoo Lounge in Jackie Brown looks awesome.
It does. I did not see the Cockatoo Lounge coming.
It's a real place. I think it's actually called the Cockatoo Inn. It's in Los Angeles, not in a great area, but it's this nice looking lounge that has the vinyl, tufted, circular booths, and dim lighting, and I'm sure the drinks are really strong and probably pretty cheap. But it just looks like the kind of place that you could just go and sit down and nobody bothers anybody. It looks really real. There are some places like this that I love to go in. I'd probably be the only white guy in that bar, but this is the real thing. It's a real place. There's some places in St. Louis that are really, really old school. They've all got some kind of story behind them, or sometimes they don't. They're just this really old classic bar that has not been touched. It's not, it hasn't been gentrified or, been cool. Now, I'm sure this place has changed since it was part of this movie, but still, it just looks like a place I would love to visit.
I thought just nostalgic childhood, you might go for that bar in Star Wars, the original.
That's Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah,
but it always freaked me out though. They're like serving drinks in Tupperware cups and stuff, and it just looked.
And somebody does die.
Yeah, Greedo gets his head blown off.
Yeah, so that I can see where. AD, are you able to give us your choice?
Yeah, absolutely. I went with another Tom Cruise movie, believe it or not. 3 of the 4 of us went with a Tom Cruise movie. I went with Cocktail. I didn't go with the bar at the beginning or the bar at the end. It's the one in the middle where I think he's in Jamaica.
Yeah.
They don't ever give this bar a name, but it's just, it's on the beach. It's this bar in the round. You've got this good-looking bartender who's going to be flipping bottles all over the place. Women are going to be coming to this bar. And then if your friend passes out from too much champagne on the beach, he's going to hop over the bar and go help her. I think this looks like a really cool place to hang out.
I love a tiki bar.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got the grass. He's got those hurricane glasses that he's throwing around. Now, I'm going to tell you, those are some really sugary drinks that he is making. There's no question.
You're going to puke after
that.
A couple
just
of those.
Looks like a hangover right there.
A lot of rum.
and he's got a self-help book behind the bar, and he's got Coughlin's Law on his side.
Yeah, exactly.
All of that's going on.
How great, though, would it be to sit next to Douglas Coughlin and just listen to him?
Just listen to him and Flanagan go back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
One of the great movie bullshitters of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Coughlin,
he was good.
Douglas Coughlin just sits there and just runs his mouth all the time.
Until it all catches up to him. We're just not.
We've switched from Vaseline to Vicks Vapo Rub.
Oh, man. What has somebody, is somebody stealing Mr. Movie's internet? What is going on there? Box office this week, we have Thunderbolts with a huge opening. It did really well. Apparently is enjoyable. We hope to hear Mr. Movie's review in a moment. Sinners still barely dropping off and just a mega hit. So that's good for the movie theaters. People are going into the theaters to see these. Should we try? Can we hear Mike yet? Let's see if he can review Thunderbolts for us. Nope. We just can't. We don't have a connection. Sorry about that. I'm sure Mike is more frustrated than we are. But AD, what you get Mike's cheat sheet each week. What did he think of Thunderbolts?
He liked it, I believe. Yeah, let me pull that up here.
He did just send that.
I was most
part of his internet is working.
I was most looking forward to his review of Nicolas Cage, the 61-year-old surfer who encounters some ne'er-do-wells at the beach. Don't like him surfing there, but let's start with Thunderbolts.
This up here.
Right.
For the Thunderbolts, Mike says, non-traditional Marvel heroes, anti-heroes, if you will, not your father's superheroes. Florence Pugh steals the show in a so-so movie, but the end of the movie is a fascinating look at the darkness that many young people are experiencing these days. A comic book movie making a strong and well-intentioned statement. And he gives it a B+. He liked this movie.
B+ from Mr. Movie for Thunderbolts.
I like the sound of that. That's the dude from Stranger Things there.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a good cast.
He's becoming a movie star. The Surfer with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, can I read this one?
Please.
Nick Cage returns with his son to a beach where he used to surf, but runs into a group of bullies/thugs who've taken the beach as their own. Terrorize anyone who attempts to surf their territory. Grade F.
Oh, jeez.
F? Apparently, none of this works out. This
F?
F is in Frank.
F
as I say when I spell my
Mike doesn't
last
give
name.
Fs very often.
Wow.
That doesn't happen very often. Mike, usually he will
F.
tell you how much he hates a movie, and then he'll give it like a D+, just because I think he feels bad.
Yeah, because people worked hard on the movie.
But this
Not
is
this
Nicolas
one.
Cage. This isn't some,
This is an Academy Award winner.
Film class putting this together. This is Nicolas Cage. I'm sure this was an expensive movie, and that we've seen that premise work before, sort of in Point Break. The bullies at the beach, it's theirs. They get pissed if you come out and take their waves. And
There might be a reason the Surfer doesn't seem like it's on the tips of everybody's tongue. I haven't heard anyone discussing the Surfer.
does
And it
his
gets an
hair
F here.
wash off, or does it stay on too well?
He has more hair now than he did when he first showed up in, what was it, Valley Girl in the 80s.
Like Travolta. Remember when he was gaining hair there for a while? And then all of a sudden he just said, lost it all.
Iowa Everywhere will send a team of tech nerds over to Mr. Movies. We apologize for not having a good connection today. We'll try to get that figured out. But right now, it's time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family in Ankeny, Waukee, Knoxville, Boone, and Creston, an authorized dealer of both Bridgestone and Firestone tires. Andy, we mentioned this earlier, sovereignty and just journalism, will neither run in the Preakness. They are saving themselves for the Belmont. I think I know where you guys are going to go with this, but will you go out of your way to watch either of these Triple Crown races now that the Triple Crown is off the table?
No, I mean, I still love horse racing, and if it's on in front of me, I will watch it, but there will be no anticipation. I'm not going to make an effort to get to know the horses that will be in the field at Pimlico. I will just, I'm going to kind of just feel sorry for the whole situation. First of all, we're carrying the race on NBC, and that announcement was preceded by the one saying that the most interesting horses wouldn't be a part of it. So how anticlimactic was that?
It's like you called it the anti-promo.
Yeah, exactly. And then, Pimlico is such a cool track. It's so classic. People get all dressed up for this. It's a huge deal. It's so important to the city of Baltimore. It is an old school piece of American sports, of the American sports lexicon. It's an amazing place. And there will be no real payoff for this. It's just really unfortunate.
I won't go out of my way to watch this. If it's on, I will watch it. Or if I'm sitting around and know that it's coming on, I'll watch it. Horse races can be exciting, even if you don't have the Triple Crown at stake. But I will not go out of my way. I'm more likely to go out of my way to watch the Belmont just because sovereignty and journalism just had a good race. And I think both those horses will be in it.
Murph, the NBA playoffs continue. There were some lopsided round 1 series. Would you like to see the first round go back to 5 games rather than 7?
I would. I'd like to push this along a little bit faster, but I don't think there's any chance of that. I think there's a better chance that they find a way to shorten the regular season, which is absolutely needed because people are more engaged in the playoffs.
Yeah, I like 5-round series, especially early in the playoffs. I just think it adds urgency, and you want to. It's too often you're just kind of wanting to weed out the teams that barely made it. This year is not a good time to do that, though. I mean, it really does seem like we could be in for some really interesting series. Maybe they all go 7 games. Who knows at this point? But I just think early on, when you do 7-game series, and they do this in the NHL too, it just reeks of the league, the owners trying to make as much money as possible.
All right, Andy, my son Charlie loves penguins. We even got to meet one while at an aquarium in Mississippi a couple of weeks ago. What unconventional animal would you most like to have as a pet?
Oh, as a pet. I've had a lot of different weird pets in my life, and I will tell you that really only dogs and kind of cats, although not having a good experience with my current cat. She can't stand
Still
me.
hates you.
She won't come in the same room with me. Loves everybody else. I don't get it. I pay all the bills. Really nice to her. I always thought it would be kind of interesting to have an African gray parrot. Those are the real smart ones that talk a lot. I thought that would be cool when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I'm really glad I don't have any birds or anything. I will tell you, the only other good pet, fish, tropical fish. That's it. And they really don't give a damn about you.
I'd have to live, I guess, in a houseboat or somewhere right on the sea because I don't want to build a big enough tank to have a dolphin. But I think like a dolphin would be fun. He's so smart, could come and play catch with you. Maybe just start to buy Dolphins gear. Just go all in on the Miami Dolphins and have a pet dolphin.
What was the dolphin's name in Ace Ventura?
I forget the dolphin. That's a great question. Somebody please answer. What was that dolphin? Can't remember. Can't remember. All right, got to move along. Quickie poll. Oh no, Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. Don't want to miss that. AD squared.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day Men's Health. I go to the one in Ankeny in the Prairie Trail neighborhood. Snowflake, the dolphin.
Snowflake. Good call, Peter, Marty.
You can go to West Des Moines on University, North Liberty on the eastern side of the state, and Matt Murvis is going to need some help with game day. He's the Marlins first baseman, and he proved a great lesson for little leaguers everywhere. As uncomfortable as it may be, you want to wear the cup.
Grounder. See it. Oh my.
Oh.
I'm going to go ahead and guess that.
Yep.
Murph has failed the cup check here.
Yep.
Just right on the
cup check.
The tip of the tip.
Yeah. Oh, that looked painful. Quickie poll results presented by WCI Pools and Spas, where Matt Murvis has been submerged for a week.
Tyrese Haliburton is underrated, overrated, properly rated. 50% say he's underrated. 43% say he's properly rated. 7% say he is overrated, although that's got to be fleeting at this point. Right?
That's a tough case to make, even with the Cy-Hawk rivalry, but that's a tough case to make. Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on a Wednesday. We sure appreciate you supporting local media on Iowa Everywhere. Like and subscribe. It's easy to do, and we sure appreciate it. Thank you. We're back Friday. We will be live at Grimaldi's on the patio. You'll be able to hear the show. We'll have the show broadcast there on the patio, and that is Friday, 1 p.m., Ankeny location. Ankeny location. Unless you're listening, Sipker, West Des Moines. Everybody else, Ankeny.